Deebo Samuel potentially being traded by the 49ers, and that Shanahan, they'll listen to any offers.
You know, either he gets a deal in San Francisco or maybe they trade him. I don't know. But you need to do it by draft night just to know what you have.
Deebo should come to the Colts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a long time coming. It seems like we finally got some clarity on the Deebo Samuel situation. And I don't think it's as crazy as people made it out to be, because I feel like at the end of the day, Deebo's going to get what he wants. It's just the way he's going about it is fairly interesting. Now, before we get to the content, this is one of 3 videos that we're uploading today. We have content on Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield also being posted or already have been posted. I don't know which we're going to get done first today. So if you could leave a like and consider subscribing and turning on our notifications, that'd be greatly appreciated. We're also giving away $500 to a subscriber that turns on our notifications on this channel. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? We made a video on Deebo Samuel before, and I mentioned in that last video that it's very similar to a division rivals issue that happened earlier in the offseason. If you recall, fellow NFC West team, the Arizona Cardinals, were dealing with Kyler Murray unfollowing the Arizona Cardinals and scrubbing his social media account of everything that pertained to the Arizona Cardinals earlier this offseason. Now, ultimately, the way that was done was a little messy, and if you ask me, just a little bit unprofessional, but Kyler was able to get his message across. He wanted a contract extension. Now, it's a little premature to be asking for a contract extension, especially if you're Kyler Murray, especially if you're a player that's been improving each and every year, especially as QB contracts get crazier and crazier and crazier, and the NFL's set to make more and more revenue. Pretty much you're in a situation where if you're a quarterback and you're continuing to perform and you're continuing to get better and your stats are continuing to improve even on paper, even the slightest bit, then chances are you're going to get a top 5 contract during the offseason that your contract is up. So if you are confident in your game, it's in your best interest to try to hold off as much as possible, but there comes a risk with that. What if you get a career-altering injury before your contract expires? There's a bit of a trade-off as to why players try to pursue contracts a little prematurely. In the instance for Deebo Samuel, you could say that he has some things in common with Kyler Murray, in the sense that he had a remarkable season last year. I mean, one of the most prolific seasons that we've ever seen from a wide receiver or running back or wide back that we've ever seen in NFL history. After struggling to stay healthy during the 2020 campaign, Deebo Samuel exploded for over 1,400 receiving yards, 77 receptions. That's an 18.2 yards per reception average, 6 touchdowns, and he was also able to add 365 rushing yards and 8 touchdowns on the ground. The man was absolutely electric, and you can make an argument that he was the engine of the San Francisco 49ers in a year where the San Francisco 49ers didn't have a clear number 1 option at the running back position due to injuries to Raheem Mostert. Then we thought Trey Sermon was going to play running back. Trey Sermon barely got any playing time. When he did, he got injured, and then Elijah Mitchell was in and out of lineups, and sometimes he looked good and sometimes he didn't really make it onto the field at all. It was a huge mess for the 49ers at the halfback position, so Deebo Samuel took over that position and was vital to the success of the San Francisco 49ers. He's only played 3 full seasons in the NFL so far. He is due for a contract extension within the next year or so, but after seeing the amount of money that Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams got paid, it seems like Deebo Samuel has officially made a statement saying that he wants to be paid. And as a result, he decided to scrub his entire Instagram of anything related to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this is where things get a little interesting, because the San Francisco 49ers and Deebo Samuel have been going back and forth in regards to playing hardball with each other. Deebo Samuel was in Ricardo Young's Instagram picture yesterday, and the caption read, "If it is not 25 million a year, we don't want it." Now, Deebo Samuel not only liked this picture, but the man is featured in this picture. picture. So you don't really need to be a genius to realize that Deebo Samuel wants $25 million a year. We also got a report, and I don't know how realistic this report is, from NBC Sports Bay, Matt Miocho, saying that Kyle Shanahan will listen to anyone that wants to talk trade with Deebo Samuel. They're willing to trade anyone for the right price. Now, I don't think this necessarily means that the 49ers are shopping Deebo Samuel, but they've had a very similar philosophy in years past. Kyle Shanahan has had countless interviews, even pertaining to the quarterback position and all positions on the team, saying that if there's a way to upgrade our roster, we're going to pursue it.
Once you make an organizational decision that we need to get a starting quarterback, you look into all the options of how to get them. And you watch the ones in the NFL that you thought you had an option with, and then you look into the college and where you think you can to get them.
If someone's willing to overpay for Deebo Samuel, then we are going to trade Deebo Samuel. Now, on the flip side, there's some 49ers fans that really value Deebo Samuel, primarily because he is easily the greatest wide receiver that the San Francisco 49ers have had since Terrell Owens. Take a look at this list of wide receivers that were drafted in between Terrell Owens and Deebo Samuel, and it just doesn't look good at all. I mean, some 49ers fans might get PTSD from it. There's names like Brandon Lloyd in here. You have Josh Morgan, of course, Michael Crabtree, who might be the best player on this list, AJ Jenkins, Dante Pettis, Richie James Jr. Pretty much the San Francisco 49ers haven't had the greatest luck when it's come to drafting a wide receiver. So the counter argument to this is Deebo Samuel is as valuable as he is saying he is, and you should not trade him no matter what. Now, this is where things get a little interesting, in my opinion. There's been more cryptic messages. I mean, you had Deebo Samuel posting this tweet saying, train your mind to be calm in every situation. Do I think this pertains to the situation at hand? I don't know, but I do think he is definitely playing some chess and playing some mind games with the San Francisco 49ers. But if you ask me, in my honest opinion, I don't think Deebo Samuel is asking for way too much money at all whatsoever. I mean, I actually think his request is very reasonable. If you pay attention, $25 million a year compared to other wide receivers in the NFL, it just puts him right underneath Stephon Diggs. So the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL is Tyreek Hill, who is getting paid on average $30 million and it has $72.2 million guaranteed. Then you have Devontae Adams just a little bit underneath that, $28.25 million annually on a 5-year contract worth $141.25 million. Then you have DeAndre Hopkins, just $1 million short of that annually, where he's getting paid $27.25 million. Most recently, Stephon Diggs just got paid big money, getting a $26 million per year contract extension with $70 million guaranteed. So Deebo Samuel doesn't want to get paid an extraordinary amount of money the way Tyreek Hill did. He just wants to be paid in the top 5. $25 million a year is a very reasonable ask. The question is whether the San Francisco 49ers actually believe that he will be able to make it onto the field that consistently. I have to admit, there is a part of me, and this is no disrespect to Deebo because he had a remarkable year last year, but so far we only have a sample size of 3 seasons. His rookie year was fairly promising. His sophomore season, he was out due to injury, and then he had one remarkable season last year, and now he's asking for a contract extension in order to continue playing. Do you give Deebo Samuel top 5 wide receiver money as a result of his prolific season and bet on the fact that he can do it again? Because there is a chance that he might get injured again, or there's a chance that he has another remarkable season for the San Francisco 49ers. Honestly, there's a lot of different routes that the 49ers could take here. They could probably trade him and get a high draft pick for him. I don't know if he's going to command a first rounder. Possibly you could get someone to trade a first round pick or a second round pick for him and then avoid having to pay him altogether, not necessarily worry about him getting injured. But at the same time, I think the 49ers have just discovered something special with Deebo Samuel, and I'd hope that they wouldn't be so quick to part with that. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. If you're the San Francisco 49ers, do you pay Deebo Samuel or do you try to trade Deebo Samuel? Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.